Good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. And also, Happy New Year. I did not mean to start the new year off late. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy New Year, Bougie Sweet Tea. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. I did not even post on normally I'll do a reel. It's like I'm coming, get ready, I'm coming, I'm coming. I didn't even do that. So good morning, you guys. I hope you had an amazing new year. I want to hear all about it. Good morning, Nidella. Good morning. Happy New Year. Good morning. So it's such a dreary day. I had to dig in the closet to find something bright, which is an indication to me that I still have too many dark colors. I still have too many dark colors in my closet. I realized that last night. So I have to do better. And I'm trying to stay in frame for Instagram since they kind of changed the dimensions of the screen. So I'm getting better, Instagram family. I'm getting better. Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing? So, at this time of year, we always do reflections, right? And I'm no different. So far, 7 days in, and I'm no different than anyone else. I do reflections. And one of the things that I do, so my birthday is a few days after Christmas. So I wind up looking at like the calendar year and my personal year all at the same time, which I kind of like in terms of just reflection. And as you find a lot about yourself when you look at your calendar in totality, right? Not just a week at a time, but just a whole year. And so at each birthday, because it's also the end of the year, I just go back and I look starting with January. And inevitably, there will be things that I remembered, but there more often than not, there are things that I forgot. Good morning, Yolanda. So let me put what we're gonna be chatting about. We're doing some reflecting, but not just reflecting, forward thinking too. Let's see. Preparing for 2026. What are you planning? Okay, just to put that topic in. The internet is slow this morning. Good morning. What kind of tea am I drinking? I'm drinking some rooibos that my daughter, this is one of her favorite teas, and she left this when she was here for the holidays. And I'll explain. Normally, I am drinking coffee. We'll get to why I'm not drinking coffee. But good morning, Tangle Silver. So that's why I'm drinking tea. Um, and so, oh, wait, I've got to grab my calendar because that's part of, well, I don't have to. You get it. So, you guys know I use a desk calendar. I'm very old school. I have a digital calendar, but I really like writing things out. I am actually going to go get my calendar because I'm a visual person, illustrative. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So, as I'm doing my reflections on 2025 at the end of the year, like many people, I think about what I did, what I want to leave behind, and what I want to bring with me. So, I have a trash. This is my office trash can. That's what's gone in the trash for 2025, like visually, emotionally. And then I have a box that represents what I want to add to my life in 2026. And the size really doesn't matter. It's really more just for, it just symbolizes. And so I invite you to get a little box and no matter how big or small, and just put it somewhere where you can see it to remind yourself of the things that you're going to gift yourself in 2026. And they don't have to be physical things. For me, they're not really physical things. It's more time, rest, and taking better care of myself. So that is, so it's what I'm not doing more. I'm doing more of what matters. So I would love to know, like, what you guys are like, what is your process for evaluating your year and then moving forward? So here's my Erin Condren calendar. They're called life planners, and each month it's like I have the whole month here, and then I have individual days as well. But that's kind of how I look at my month in totality. And so when I go back and reflect at the end of the year, like I said, I some things I forget that I did that thing, like that was a good thing. And then I just remember, like, oh yeah, I can't believe I did that. This year we launched in Walmart. Clearly I didn't forget that, but I had kind of filed away that I was a speaker at Walmart for International Women's Day. I just kind of had moved on from that. And so I didn't take the time to celebrate it. I just did it and moved on. So one of the things that I'm adding to my box, and I have several mentors who are constantly on me about that, is actually taking the time to celebrate. It doesn't have to be anything big, but just acknowledge a goal that you did. Like, it's okay to say, oh, wow, I really did that. That was awesome. And then move on. And I rarely even just celebrate stuff. I just check it off the box and just move on. A physical, yes. Yeah. So that's, and I'm keeping this in my office. Bougie Sweet Tea. I might write some notes on it on the outside because it's an empty paper box. In fact, I have a whole box of these in the garage from when I used to fulfill the Maison 276 products. This is how they used to come to your house with a handwritten note. So I may, even over the course of the year, write some stuff on the outside just to remind myself. I just really thought of that. I think I should. Celebrate yourself more. I think I'm going to start write stuff on that. So that's one thing. And then as I was going through the whole year, y'all, literally from January to December, my birthday is December 27th. So again, it's a full calendar year review from a business perspective and a life review. I did not take a vacation. For our wedding anniversary, we went on a weekend trip, like an hour from the house. And this is great because I did feel like I got away and I didn't work, but I was just so consumed with work that I did not take time to just fully recharge and completely disconnect. And that cost me. And I'm going to get into how that cost me. Hi, Jamaica. Hi, Jamaica. Hello. So, did I put not? Okay, so I'm gonna put more of what we're talking about in the chat because y'all know I don't like to lecture. I want I want y'all's input, and I want to know some tips from you on how do you evaluate your year. You know, the wins and the lessons, and how do you move forward. So, oops, I'm doing more of what matters. What about you? So, yes, I'd love to know how you guys evaluate your year. And I really don't think it's about like beating yourself up. It's just more of how can I be a better version of myself and show up better for me personally. You know, you can't fill from an empty cup. For the people that you love, for your community, for all of the people and the entities that are important to you, you first have to take care of yourself. So, yes, that's what I realized in looking through this, that I never took more than 48 hours to disconnect. And I let the calendar manage me instead of me managing the calendar. I let the to-do list manage me instead of me managing the list. It doesn't mean that the things didn't need to be done. They definitely needed to be done. I was like, why do I have is my head hurting? Because I have contacts on and I only use the glasses for when I need to read something. So that is one of the things that I'm doing. Um, so how did that impact me? I'm just going full transparency with y'all this morning. Also, I need to go over here. I forgot to go. Let's see. Live on YouTube. Well, I'm live, but I forgot to click a button. Okay. So while I'm clicking these buttons, I would love to hear. Diane says she loves about doing more of what matters. Right. Oh, well, thank you, Silver Sister, that beautiful silver hair. Bougie Sweet Tea says she doesn't make resolutions. Oh, I agree. I agree. I make goals for the year to lean into something new, to do something new, create a new friendship, no pressure, and it can happen organically. Right. No, that's great. I love the idea of resolutions have really gotten a bad name. And so, however you want to reframe that, I think that is awesome. I like the idea of goals. I like the idea of something new because it doesn't have to be negative. Oftentimes, when you hear New Year's resolutions, is new. They sound very corrective. Not that they're bad. Sorry, I don't know why I have a hiccup. Not that they're bad, but like, oh, lose weight or go to the gym or and all those things are good, but many of them they're framed in a very negative way. And so I do like the idea of goals versus resolutions. And so how that, oh, beautiful, awesome. Diane saying she went natural in 2020. A lot of people did for a lot of different reasons. I think my camera is too low, so I'm gonna put this up. I feel like I'm looking down. Yeah, that's better. So, how that impacted me, I'm going to put our topic back up because I want to know some things that you guys. Okay, Tangle Silver says she's leaning into showing more grace to herself. Yes. And those around me this year. And it's okay to be imperfectly perfect for myself. I could not agree more. I feel very strongly about giving people grace. And it's funny when we say that, Tangle Silver, sometimes we are the last person that we give grace to. Like we don't give ourselves grace. And that is definitely something that I am putting into this box for 2026, is to give myself more grace. And I think when I think those things are tied to the not celebrating wins that some of my mentors have shared with me that I need to work on. Not because if you give yourself grace, you feel like, I don't know. I think the celebration part for me feels like you celebrate when you're done. But when you're running a marathon, which I have run many marathons, I you celebrate every mile that you finish. Like you don't, it's not a jumping up and down, but it is definitely a mental acknowledgement. You have X number of miles to go, but every time you pass a new water station that is typically near a mile marker, you're like, okay. And so I need to take some of that marathon running mentality and apply it to where I am right now in my life, in terms of building a brand, scaling a brand, growing a community, the amazing Maison 276 and Beauty of Aging community. So thank you, Tangle Silver, for adding that grace. So important. And so how that impacted me negatively in terms of the calendar running my life and versus me running the calendar, a lot of things that had become second nature to me and things that I never had to put on the calendar, never had to remind myself to do, some of those things start falling out of my daily life cycle. Exercise. Like everyone who knows me knows I'm an avid exerciser. Whether it's running, which I don't do quite as much of, but my Peloton bike and I are joined at the hip. And over I would say the last quarter of the year, my workout schedule fell off tremendously. And those kinds of things really, it doesn't happen all at once. It's like, oh, you go from working out 4 times a week to 3, and then 3 becomes 2, and then you skip a week where you didn't do anything. And that's kind of where what happened. And I wound up at the end of the year gaining 10 pounds in a 4-month period because, hey, at 66, because that's my new number now. I have to remember to say it. How I remember my birthday is like, what's the last number of the year? Then that's how I remember how old I am. But so it's very easy in middle age to gain weight. 30 years ago, I might have gained 1 or 2 pounds by slacking off, but no, I gained 10 pounds. And so now, giving myself grace, I'm moving back into my workout routine slowly. So I didn't go from not working out for 2 weeks and now I'm working out 5 times a week. No, I'm not trying to break anything. I'm just trying to get back to where I need to be. So now I'm back to 3 times a week. So that's giving myself grace, investing in myself, investing in my future self, because that's really what exercise and eating right is all about. And so, yeah, getting back on track. And how I'm doing that is at 4:30, I have a alarm, because typically I'm a late afternoon workout person. I typically work out like 5 or 6. And so at 4:30, my phone alarms, and that means whatever I'm doing, I need to wind it down so that I can go and work out. And that's not something I've ever had to do. But because I got off track, I need to be very intentional about that one thing, that one thing that I did slack off from. So that's just, I'm just sharing with y'all how I'm trying to do more of what matters. Tangle Silver said she created a gratitude jar in September that she didn't use enough. So this year, she hopes to fill her pretty jar by looking for things to be grateful for, big and small. I love that. Pretty jar, a gift box. I think mental reminders are very important. I love that idea. And with a jar, I'm sure it's clear. So you saw it, like a visual reminder that you did not show enough gratitude. So I'm going to type that in, because y'all know on Instagram, you can't see um, the Instagram comments. So I'm just going to create a gratitude tip. Create a gratitude jar and be intentional about filling it with items big and small. Thank you, Tangle Silver. That's a great idea. I'm going to put that up. That's a great idea. Good morning, Marcia from Maryland. Tony says she just wants to discover what God's purpose is for her at this stage, right? And to focus even more on your health. Great. Tony, sometimes it can be easy for us to fall into those existing versus living, but the recognition of it, you've already won, because now you're going to be intentional about the things that you are doing. And I do like the idea of questioning what's my purpose in life now, because we have various stages. And sometimes the thing that we were supposed to be doing 10 years ago, that might not be the thing we're supposed to be doing right now. So I love the idea of tapping into, what should I be doing right now? I love that. That is a great idea. Because it's filled with so much intention. Hello, Great Tales Guru. Good morning. How are you? How are you? So this morning, let me just say hello. I happened to, because I was 5 minutes late, I just jumped in. I didn't introduce myself. I just started talking. I saw our community online and I just started talking. Good morning. Happy New Year. I'm Angel Cornelius, the founder of Maison 276 and creator of the award-winning 3-step system for silver, gray, and blonde hair, a healthy way to brighten, cleanse, and restore the natural brilliance of your hair without purple dyes, available nationwide at Walmart. We come together every Friday morning, the Maison 276 community, the Beauty of Aging community on YouTube. Every Friday morning at 10 o'clock Eastern for Coffee with Angel, we chat about a lot of different topics: lifestyle, wellness, hair care, fashion. Sometimes it's open mic and we talk about a lot of things. And today it's the first Coffee with Angel of 2026. So I'm sharing some of my personal reflections, how I looked at evaluating 2025 and how I'm moving forward in 2026. And we've got lots of community advice and other tips on how they're moving forward and reflecting on, not just reflecting on 2025, but moving forward with more power, energy, and intention in 2026. So thank you for joining us. So feel free to drop in the chat what you're planning, what your reflections are, what's your intentions for 2026, what things that you learned last year that you need to either embrace or put in this trash can and be done with it. So I've got stuff in the trash can, but I've also got some things that I need to add for 2026. And that's what this box is symbolic of. Another viewer, Tangle Silver, has a gratitude jar that she wants to be more intentional about adding because she didn't fill it last year. So Bougie Sweet Tea says, whenever something great happens throughout the year, she writes it on a little piece of paper, puts it in a jar, and then you read all of them. Yes, yes, absolutely. That's very, very similar to the gratitude jar. Absolutely, and the same kind of the same mindset of me going through my calendar and literally reading all of the things in the calendar because I have lots of notes about every person I had a conference call with. I literally have that name somewhere in there. Or, I just realized like you did 10 podcasts. If you had asked me, I wouldn't have known. I might have said one or two, but I went back and I looked through that. And so I do think it's very important to have some type of system to be reflective because we don't typically, especially women, we don't really give ourselves credit for what we have accomplished. So I love the idea of reading those on New Year's Day. It's very much in line with Tangle Silver's gratitude jar. I like that. Oh, Diane said she missed the point about the trash can. Yes. So the trash can, this is the trash can from my office, but it's symbolic of everything that I want to get rid of, are things that I didn't do in 2025, practices that I need to change or completely eliminate, just anything that I don't want to bring with me in 2026. I symbolically put them in this trash can. Now, the box, I actually just thought of this morning, is symbolic of everything that I want to bring with me in 2026. Things that I need to improve on. For me, that's celebrating wins, being more, not falling off my exercise routine schedule, giving myself more grace. It's just an empty paper box, but I am going to actually write things on the outside because I don't want just the box itself to be the symbol. I want things on here. So I'm going to write, I got this idea from Tangle Silver. I'm going to write daily gratitude, Tangle Silver and Bougie Tea. Both of you guys, I literally just thought of this. Like I can take that little piece of paper that each of you puts in a jar and I can put one in this box. And I can also write things on the outside of it that I want to remind myself to do, or be great, that I'm grateful for, or things I need to be more intentional about. Like the goals, I have the goals, I've got a whole calendar of work stuff. So from that perspective, like the goals are always here. Which is why the calendar was running my life instead of me running the calendar, especially at the end of 2025. So, oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Marcia. That's why we're here. We're here to share. Whether your idea is the box, the gratitude jar that Tangle Silver has, Bougie Teas, little pieces of paper that she scrapbooks. Yeah, so she scrapbooks it and then she goes back. That's another beautiful idea, especially I know you're a creative, Bougie Sweet Tea. So if you're a creative person, instead of taking those little slips of gratitude and putting them in a jar, scrapbooking them. That's beautiful. And then it's just something that you keep forever. Like these calendars, like I have a calendar like this. I'm gonna pick it up and then then you're not gonna be able to see it again. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what to put my camera on so it doesn't Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put it on here. This is live. This is what happens with live streaming. You just, because now, of course, I moved the camera. So, okay. But I started using these Erin Condren life planners when I started Maison 276, because at the time I had a job. I my career, I have a 30 plus year career as a healthcare administrator. And so when I first started the company, like most entrepreneurs, I was working and I had my business calendar for all of my hospital administration duties. And I needed a separate calendar for this project, this passion project. And so that's when I started using them. So now I have several years of these going back to 2019. And it is amazing when I pick it up and I look at it and see how far I've come. And I sometimes I just weep because in the beginning, the things that I did, I had no idea that they would lead to the things that we're doing now. And because I wouldn't have been able to see, like, how do I get from this point to a nationwide launch in Walmart? But that's why you just have to keep putting one in front of the other. And so this is kind of like a journey slash scrapbook. So I totally get that, Bougie Sweet Tea, because I mean, there's all kind of stuff in here. The big circles are for when I was doing my year review. I was like, oh, I did do that thing. So awesome. I love all the, let's see, Nidella says, good riddance to 2025. It was a hard year for her, and she's praying for new beginnings and new opportunities. Nidella, every day is not sunshine and roses, and every year, sometimes we just have hard seasons. And I think it's perfectly healthy to, one, acknowledge that it's hard and not act like everything's okay, and give yourself all the grace that you need to survive that season, because you are here today. You're part of an amazing community who loves you, and that is winning. Surviving sometimes is just winning. Getting to the next day, getting to the next season, to the next season. There definitely, were some unexpected transitions in our family last year. And in the middle of all of those things, life still keeps happening. Things, the to-do list doesn't go away. And so managing that, and there is no balance, is really just surviving through that season. So all of our thoughts and prayers, not with you, but just anyone who's going through a difficult season. Because when you get to be our age, you have survived a lot of seasons, right? And so one of the things that is important to, in my opinion, to do is to have a great memory, to remember, like, okay, if I survived that other thing, I can survive this. It might, like, you've got the tools. Sometimes we just need to be reminded, but it's okay. It's totally okay. Hi, Murda from New York. I have not been to New York in, I think, 6 months. I miss it. I'm overdue, and I'm looking forward to doing another get together in New York. But yes, so I think we don't give ourselves credit for being survivors. There's a lot of thriving. Yes, we definitely want to be intentional about thriving. As was that, who was that said, Tony? No, I don't want to. Someone earlier talked about, not wanting to just exist. And that's absolutely true. But sometimes we are surviving. Sometimes we're in a season of not thriving. We are surviving. I was a biology major in college, and I remember being in this Bible study. This was years ago, and they were talking about different seasons of life, different seasons of marriage, and they were talking about this winter season, and winter was just getting such a bad rap, because it was just talking about the hard things of life. And that's true, and it can feel like winter. And all week that bothered me, like it was just this one perspective of winter. And so then I realized what it was. And so the next week when I went to class, I was just like, I just have something to say about winter. Winter is bleak. It's, depending on where you live, it's cold, it's dreary, it's dark, everything is brown. But there are a lot of things happening during winter. During winter, when plants are dormant, they're dormant, but they're not dead. Let's talk about trees. Trees may not have leaves on them, but during winter, the roots are being strengthened. The roots are growing. And so when you get those summertime storms, the reason trees don't easily blow away is because they have a root system. And that root system is strengthened during the fall and winter. And I think that when we are in our winter seasons of life, that we are literally just becoming stronger for the next journey, for the next season. So nobody wants a winter season, but I do believe that is when we build our strongest muscle, mentally, spiritually, personally, and it fortifies us for the next season of life. So that's my TED Talk for this morning. But I believe that with my whole heart. I really do. I believe that. What is it? The phrase that phrases or songs. It doesn't. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's winter. Yep, that's winter. Exactly, Marcia. Dormant but not dead. Exactly. Exactly. That's Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Like I said, you don't get to be 66 and not have had some winters. None of us. None of us. And we don't give ourselves credit for surviving. Bougie Sweet, I joined this community a year ago, part of my doing something new. And it's been, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I think you guys have no idea how much of a blessing this is for me. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I've said with full transparency, starting the YouTube channel was a task to do that's how it started. It was something that I had to do for the business, and now it's something that I have to do for me because you guys are a part of my life. You're my community. I don't even think about it digitally. And so when I meet people that we have met digitally, but we have never met in person, when I finally meet them, I feel like I've known you since I've known you. That's how I felt when I met Shauna in Atlanta, Murda in New York, when Vicky came to just to the Coffee with Angel in Houston. And so this is a real community, and I am truly, truly grateful for each and every one of you. I really am. So earlier, someone asked what kind of tea I was drinking. And I told them, and I said, oh, there's a story behind the tea as we close. So my church every year in January, like many communities of faith, is is very common. And then a lot of people in general have they call it veganary. Instead of January is veganary. I think that's what they call it. And then there's dry January, just a lot of resets. And so I'm drinking tea because we're doing the Daniel fast. And for our community, it's also no coffee. And y'all know that's the struggle bus for me. I'm finally not having the coffee headache, because if you're an avid coffee drinker, which I am, I don't drink coffee all day. I usually drink 1 or 2 cups in the morning, and then I'm pretty much done. But I want my 1 or 2 cups. And so when you stop drinking coffee, you get caffeine headaches. So for me, they finally dissipated. But the first 4 or 5 days, it was rough. So that's why you can drink herbal tea. This isn't Earl Grey. This isn't a caffeinated tea. This is rooibos. And then another tea that I drink comes straight from my garden, my hibiscus. I have a hibiscus plant. It's a potted plant. And because it's been so hot, like we've had maybe 2 days where you needed a coat, but it's hot. It's been hot. The AC is on. I'll just say that. And so that it keeps blooming. So I have my, do I have some blooms now? Drying? No, I don't. But I'll show them to you. Yeah. So I just take them once the flower starts wilting. I don't take a fully beautiful flower off. Once they start wilting, then I'll bring it in the house and just put it on a saucer and just let it air dry. And then I just make my hibiscus tea. So that's why I'm drinking tea on Coffee with Angel. Now the vegan part of doing that's not really difficult for me, because once I would say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when I really committed myself to doing the Daniel fast, I just learned a lot about vegan cooking and a lot of different substitutes. So that part's not that difficult for me. Eating a lot of beans to make sure I get my protein. So long story short, that's why I have. Oh, so you understand, Marcia. Yeah. The meat part is not, an issue. It's just, I would say the biggest thing about it is you just have to make sure you have certain replacements in the house for things that you would normally, like I would normally have butter. So I just have to, I got to make sure I have some vegan butter. But in a pinch, I'll just use some olive oil. Bread, I love French bread. So there's that. But anyway, it's the perfect timing for me, because between gaining those 10 pounds over the last 4 months, and then the holiday eating and drinking situation. And here's the thing, like, even if you are drinking 1 or 2 extra glasses of wine, let's say over the course of a week, like those things have a lot of sugar in them. And if it's not something that you normally do, it's real easy. Like we all understand why it's easy to gain weight during the holidays. So I don't need to get into that. So anyway, I'm not putting any pressure on myself to lose these 10 pounds. I know once I just get back into the habit of doing the things that I need to do regularly, they will fall off. I'm giving myself grace. Diane, yes, Diane, I am giving myself grace. So you guys, if you just hopped on, it's time for us to wrap up for Coffee with Angel. But as you know, well, as a reminder, the replays, I am giving myself grace about those 10 pounds. I am. I'm just glad I can get in my clothes. And here's the thing, Diane, I I don't really, I'm not someone that gets on the scale, like the scale that we have in the bathroom my husband bought. I might get on the scale like every 3 months, just kind of like, just like, where am I? But yeah, but I'm not one of those people that hops on the scale all the time. And so I was quite shocked, but it explained why my clothes were fitting the way they were fitting. I thought it was going to be like maybe 5. I didn't think it was going to be 10. But anyway, I am giving myself grace. I truly am. I am. So, but as I was saying, if you just hopped on, we were just talking about 2025 reflections, how we're moving forward in 2026. As always, the community had great tips for living with intention, giving yourself grace, and living a life of gratitude. And so I am so grateful for the fact that you guys are always willing to share, because that is what this community is all about. If you're just hopping on, you can watch the full replay. It'll be uploaded into YouTube very shortly after we finish this call. Next Friday, I actually have to go to an event at our kids' old high school. So we will not be having coffee with Angel next Friday, but I may hop on midday on Wednesday. I was thinking about that yesterday. Like, I should occasionally do a midday hop on. So I may hop on live just to chit chat, Q&A, no agenda. So if you have some questions that you've been wanting to ask me about any topic, entrepreneurship, silver hair care, whatever, look for that YouTube community post. I'll post an announcement if I'm going to do it Wednesday at lunchtime. So that would be 12 o'clock Eastern, and we can just chit chat, and that'll make up for a Friday. I have a new vlog coming up. I'm almost finished editing it. It's one of my most requested, and that is the ponytail tutorial. Now, I have one vlog that I did with the natural hair ponytail, just, a heat-free version. This one is the one I'm wearing today. It's the blowout version. That's the tutorial. It's super easy. It's low heat. I don't not bone dry. This is not a silk press. Like, it's not bone straight. It's just like a blowout. So it does have heat, but it's low heat, but it's still very easy, super easy to do. And if you are thinning hair and you want to add a little length, the ponytail clip-in is the way to go. And I also have a coupon code if you want to use it to buy the clip-ins. Right now, they're on sale for, I think, $119. So look for that vlog. Okay, guys. Oh, thank you, Diane. This is your first one. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, welcome to the community. We're so happy to have you and look forward to you joining us. And I'm glad that you shared that you're a vegan, because one of my friends from Atlanta is vegan, and I am planning to have her on one Friday, not to turn people into vegan, but I do think we can learn a lot about healthy eating and about clean eating and about very tasty options. Like, vegan food is not just salad. I think that's what people think. It's not. So anyway, yes, that's something that's going to be coming up very shortly. So thank you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you for giving your input, for sharing. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for your patience, because I was a little late hopping on. I appreciate you, and have an amazing, safe weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye. Let's get some music.